SMU's Pro Day participants were released yesterday, and there are two that I'm keeping my eye on because RJ Maryland and Isaiah Nwokobia have final chances to impress pro scouts.
You are Locked On SMU, your daily podcast on the SMU Mustangs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On SMU here on the Locked On Podcast Network, a Tuesday edition, your team every single day. Thank you for making us, as always, your first listen of the day and making Locked On Podcast the number one sports podcast network that is available. Our show today is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavors back with no fork needed. Vanilla cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, and no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Coming up on the show today is the first four going to be a true road game for SMU against Miami of Ohio in Dayton? Probably. What are my thoughts on that? We'll see. Plus, what realistically can BJ Edwards give SMU in the first four game in the NCAA tournament? Okay, so we'll talk about that to close the show. By the way, my voice is a little weak here. It is 40 degrees randomly in the state of Oklahoma where I live. So the weather turned pretty unpredictably. So you have to bear with me on this one. But as we talk about Pro Day, and the Pro Day participants were released yesterday, there are two that I'm keeping my eye on for SMU's Pro Day. RJ Maryland and Isaiah Nwokobia. Now, I'm going to go through another group at the end of this segment that I really think we should have a red eye on. But for the moment, these two in particular. And the reason being it's these two in particular that I'm keeping an eye on is because, quite frankly, their last season did not go as planned. RJ Maryland obviously was recovering from the ACL and wasn't as effective as he had been over the course of his career. But then you also got to look at a guy like an Isaiah Nwokobia who, even though he played most of the year, I think we can all agree, took a step back from his junior season in 2024. You got a lot of missed tackles. He wasn't as effective in coverage. And the leap that he made in 2024 was followed up by a little bit of an type of season. Because if you're a guy like Nwokobia, right, you're looking to capitalize on 2024 and continue that ascent. And whether or not you think he took a step back, we can all agree from watching the games that he did not keep ascending in terms of his stock and his performance on the field and on tape. So he even got to the point where I don't even think he went to the NFL Combine, Isaiah Nwokobia. Ahmad Moses did, but Nwokobia didn't. So this is a huge, huge pro day for Nwokobia in that sense, because this will be the time where he can get in front of NFL scouts. I also do like for Nwokobia the environment, because he can be not one of 20 safeties, but one of a couple. And they can really get a better look without distraction on him. Because I do think Isaiah Nwokobia deserves a shot to make an NFL roster. Like, I do think he is that type of player. Do I think he's a bona fide 53-man roster guy? I don't know. His tape from 2025 gives you a credible argument to say no. And it also gives you one to say yes because of what he put on tape in 2024. So it's kind of up in the air if he's a 53-man roster guy this NFL season. But RJ Maryland, who had a pretty good combine actually, gets another chance to show and talk to and people to get a look at. This guy is completely over the injury, and he's back to pre-ACL RJ Maryland, who was a wide receiver in a tight end's body, who could go up and make contested catches, who was a guy who could be a matchup nightmare with linebackers and or safeties because of size and speed and quickness, right? So those are the two guys that you're really keeping an eye on, but for two different reasons. RJ to show that he's fully healthy, Isaiah to raise his draft stock because of his performance even more. And it's not as if Nwokobia didn't get hurt too. He got hurt at the back end of the season. So he's going to have to talk through some medical stuff as well. There's a lot of concern on my part for Isaiah Nwokobia. I'm interested to see where he is post-draft. My guess right now is that he's an undrafted free agent and he's going to get a camp invite. That's my hunch right now. But the other group that I'm looking at SMU's Pro Day is the defensive line. Terry Webb, Jeffrey Mbaugh, Isaiah Smith, Cam Robinson. And the reason I'm looking at those guys is because you haven't heard a whole lot of pre-draft buzz on those guys, but we know as a unit, they were as formidable as could be in 2025. They were an excellent run-stopping unit, and they got after the quarterback. All four of them. But have you seen them on any 2-round, 3-round mock drafts? No. And sometimes there are guys who are excellent college players, but they don't have the projection to a good NFL player. That happens. And I wonder if it's happening here. I hope it doesn't, but I'm wondering if it does. But I'm going to be looking at those dudes at the Pro Day and every other point in the draft process from here on out to see, okay, are any of these guys a 4th rounder? Any of these guys a 5th rounder? Because you're not going to tell me that those guys aren't NFL players. I think those guys can be NFL players. They won't be high-round draft picks. But when I look at what they displayed in 2025, not just as a unit, but all of them individually as well, Terry Webb and Jeffrey Mbaugh are huge, imposing bodies. Cam Robinson and Isaiah Smith can come off the edge, both approach double-digit sacks this year. So that'll be curious to see either A, where they get drafted, or B, what kind of chance they get to make an NFL roster. Because they should make an NFL roster. I think, or at least get a camp invite. Let me put it like that. They strike me as guys who, at the bare minimum, should be on a training camp roster. Last year, Isaiah Smith led the way with 8.5 sacks. Cam Robertson had 5, but he missed time because of an injury. We remember that. And the 2 DTs combined for 10.5. Come on, man. Like, that at least says some form of NFL to me. So that is what I'll be watching for. Pro Days obviously is for testing and timing and things of that nature. So if those guys can really test well, they could make themselves a few extra $1 million. So look for them to really dial in this Pro Day so that that production from 2025 can match what people want to see in terms of tangible numbers and traits to translate to the NFL. So RJ Maryland and Isaiah Nwokobia, and then the defensive line at the Pro Day is what I'm keeping an eye on. All right, coming up next here on Locked On SMU, is it a true road game for the Mustangs against Miami of Ohio to start the NCAA tournament? And why, quite frankly, I don't care. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and clear swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Spring is the perfect time to refresh your space and make your home better for you. So whether it's updating a room, adding some outdoor furniture, or finally organizing that cluttered corner, it's a great chance to bring a fresh look into your home. That's where Wayfair comes in. From furniture and decor to organization solutions and outdoor essentials, Wayfair makes it easy to find pieces that match your style and your budget. What I like about shopping on Wayfair is how simple the process is. You can filter by size, style, and price, so you can find exactly what works for your space. The thousands of reviews make it easy to shop with confidence too, and options like easy assembly or installation make the whole experience smooth from order to setup. Whether it's a new desk for a home office, some storage solutions, or outdoor pieces for spring, it's easy to find something that fits both your style and your daily routine. Find furniture and decor and essentials that fit your unique style and budget. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style for every home. All right, welcome back to the show, Locked On SMU. Appreciate you making us your first listen of the day. I'm Grayson Singleton. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you're new here, we'd love to have you be a part of this growing community. So make sure you give us a subscribe. Those of you on audio, glad you're with us as well. And make sure you make your way over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Okay, SMU is going to Dayton to play Miami of Ohio. We can all read between the lines there that Miami of Ohio is going to be more profusely represented than SMU likely will be. Now, this is the narrative that has been thrown around that SMU is going to be in the midst of a true road game for the first four in the NCAA tournament. And that might be true. It might be true. But let's pump the brakes here just for a second on that. Here's why I really don't care. If you look at SMU's schedule this year, you shouldn't be daunted by Miami of Ohio potentially being a true road game, because these are the true road games that SMU has played this season, and you guys are going to love this. At Clemson, at Duke, where they lost by 7 without their best player. They went to Wake Forest, to Louisville, to Pitt, not a great environment, to Syracuse, now not really a great environment, and then to Cal and to Florida State. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure an approximation of a true road game is not going to faze SMU against Miami of Ohio. If the Mustangs lose this game, it would not be because of that. Let's be real. SMU has played in more daunting environments, more imposing environments than what they will get tomorrow night. They played at Cameron Indoor, got off to a really good start, and kept it a close game while abruptly being without their best player because we found out he couldn't play an hour and a half before the game. SMU's going to be okay in that regard. If that's your concern, the priorities are a little bit out of whack. I've got bigger concerns for SMU, i.e. Miami's ability to shoot the three ball. SMU's inability at times to get defensive rebounds. Those are more of my chief concerns than a Miami of Ohio crowd. And look, no disrespect to Miami of Ohio, none whatsoever. But we've also seen those first 4 games. It's not as if that arena is going to be packed to capacity. Is that what do we truly think that arena is going to be the most filled up arena in the world? No. That crowd gives great support to Miami of Ohio. But it will not even touch the environments that Clemson and Duke were, or Louisville. So to that regard, that's not really a concern to me. Also, going all the way to Dayton, the travel doesn't bother me that much either. because SMU's been off since what? Thursday? Is that when they lost to Louisville? Wednesday or Thursday? They're rested. It will be about a week since they last played and got back from Charlotte. So I'm cool with the travel part. You've had ample rest. You've allowed guys like Boopy and Jerron, who have played an exorbitant amount of minutes, to get off their feet. You're getting BJ back, which we'll talk about in the last segment. You're good. I think the circumstances of the game are pretty much okay for SMU. And you can't always say that about the first four, by the way. Sometimes the first four will present a quick turnaround for some people, but not SMU. They got to 20 wins and then lost to Louisville. I think they're going to be okay. But to the crowd that wants to say, yeah, we're concerned that Miami of Ohio could be a true home game for them. While that is an observation, I just don't think it's going to be that much of a factor. And if it is going to be a factor, it's not going to be a novel experience for SMU. I think they are more than prepared. And this is what goes to playing in the ACC, is that you get to see this type of stuff. This isn't Boopy's first time around the block. Boopy's been in the ACC. Before SMU, he was at Wake Forest. Jerron Pierce isn't his first time around the block. BJ Edwards began his career at Tennessee. Those dudes will be fine. They'll be fine. It's been a minute, but do we remember how far Andy Enfield took Florida Gulf Coast in the NCAA tournament? They'll be okay. The players will be ready. The coaching staff will be ready. They'll be all right. I don't think they're going to get spooked by a Miami of Ohio crowd. And Miami of Ohio is going to bring it. I would expect them to, at least. An NCAA tournament game that's close to you, they're going to bring it. They're going to be pretty pissed off that they're in the first four in the first place after winning 31 games in a row to start the season. They're going to be a little pissed. But Miami of Ohio has not played its best ball recently. They don't defend. And the Mustangs have played in far tougher environments. Oh, and by the way, keep this in mind too. Until you get to the Elite Eight Final Four, NCAA tournament environments are a little bit more tame than if you were playing these games on campuses. I think SMU is going to be okay. I think they'll be just fine. All right, coming up next, one more segment. What realistically can BJ Edwards give you? The answer might surprise you with how simple it actually is. The biggest stretch of the college basketball season is almost here. Buzzer beaters, bracket busters, and those unforgettable moments that everyone's talking about the next day. Being there live for something like that, it's bucket list stuff. But the hard part is actually getting the tickets. Long queues, prices jumping around, and surprise fees at checkout. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. And it's incredibly simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means 100% legitimate tickets delivered on time and at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. And the seat view feature is my favorite game changer overall. You can see a panoramic view from your exact seat before you buy. And Zone Deals let you pick the section and save even more while Game Time selects the seats. There's no stress, no guesswork, just a smooth experience from start to finish. That's exactly what you want during the busiest part of the season. Take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft. With 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and I've got my number one pick for the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft, and we're going to go with Cotton Candy. You know, that flavor that you guys got when you went to the Texas State Fair or any other fair that you went to over the course of your childhood. Yes, that's right. It's going to remind you of that childhood and give you that nostalgic feel. Your sweet tooth will be fixed without any sugar guilt too, and it's just pure sweetness from start to finish, again, with no sugar. It's awesome. 5-Hour Energy shots give you a boost with zero sugar, and they've got a lot more flavor innovations that are already planned. So what would you like to see? Give them a holler. Find your new favorite flavor of 5-Hour Energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. All right, back here on the show, Locked On SMU on this Tuesday morning. Glad you guys are with me. I'm Grayson Singleton. And by the way, if you've been thinking about joining the Everydayer Club, go ahead and join the Everydayer Club, because you're going to get ad-free versions of this show, plus access to our group chat on Discord as well. Plus, by the way, if you sign up before the NCAA tournament tips off this Thursday, you can compete against me and all of us in our men's and women's bracket pools on Discord. The winner in each will get $100 in Locked On merch, and the rest of us can commiserate in the members-only chats as our brackets blow up. As a member of the club, you can get an ad-free version of this show once again. So it's all free for 1 month with code MARCH. So make sure you hit up the Everydayer Club, go to lockedonsmu.supercast.com, or click the link in the show notes to learn more. Okay, final segment here on this show. What can BJ Edwards give SMU? And again, apologize for my voice. I'm kind of fighting it right now. The weather's stupid here in Oklahoma. But what can BJ Edwards give SMU? And the answer might be simple, but it is so impactful. The answer, quite frankly, is another body. Yeah, that's right. Your second or third best player coming back from injury can give you another body. And I think that's massive for SMU, because it'll give you another body. Did you to spell Boopy Miller and Jerome Pierre? Did you see how many minutes those guys have played in BJ's absence? So even if BJ Edwards is not 100% back to himself, to me, that's okay. Because what SMU needs right now is another body to defend and another somebody that you can stagger Boopy and Jeron's minutes with. That's all BJ Edwards really needs to be for now. Now, what else does he actually bring is the defensive captaincy back to this team, because the defense didn't look great without him. And it hasn't looked good all season, but it didn't look great without him. And there was a noticeable hole in their communication. There was a noticeable hole in the way the offense flowed as well without him, because you were forcing a different kind of lineup that the team didn't really play a whole lot of this season, or forcing freshman Jermaine O'Neal into more action than he probably needs to be at this particular moment in time. So having BJ Edwards smooths all of that back, and getting him back just puts SMU back into a much better rhythm with its lineups and then on the court with their players. He is the quintessential glue guy. He's going to do everything. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He's going to move the ball around. He's going to get steals, but he's also going to do a lot of things that don't show up in the averages. And he has proven that. His impact, a lot of times, cannot be shown in box scores because of his ability to space the floor, because of his veteran poise, and because of the way he can make it tougher for guys to get shots off on the defensive side of the ball. But even more importantly than that, even more importantly than all of what I just laid out, SMU, the entirety of the season, has been a top-heavy team. They've always been that way. They have not been able to get out of that. They can get a nice game from Jermaine O'Neal here, couple of threes here from Sam Walters, but for the most part, they're a team that is their starters and one dude off the bench. And that's about it. So getting that fifth starter back is going to be critical. And do I think BJ is going to be, 100%? No. But if he can be 85%, boy, that is good enough with you being in the first four. Because think about it this way. If you win on Wednesday night, you have one day off to get to Philadelphia before you take on Tennessee. One day off. If you can spell Boopy and Jerron, and we're going to go in-depth and preview this game tomorrow morning. But if you can spell Boopy and Jerron in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because you can get them off their feet, get them a little bit rested, and then we head to play Tennessee where we're going to try to pull an upset. And it would be a massive upset. But the ability for those dudes to not play 39 minutes and for your defense to have a chance to look a little bit better, it's very simple BJ Edwards impact. It's simple, but it should not be understated. That BJ Edwards gives them another veteran capable body. It's plain and simple as that. Plain and simple as that. And I think you're going to see a return to a familiar flow. I don't know if BJ is going to drop 15 points. I would not expect that to be the case. But what I would expect to be the case is the Mustangs to look like themselves, to reintegrate a critical piece and the communication be better and the flow be better. And that's what I'm looking for in a first four game that you should win. Can you do just that? And at that point, then we'll see when we get to Tennessee. But I like the idea also of BJ getting some run before the Tennessee game. Get some run, get your legs back underneath you, and then we go try to pull an upset in your second game back, not your first game back. To me, that's huge as well. So that's what I'm looking for with a guy like BJ Edwards. All right, that'll do it for Locked On SMU here today. I'm going to go drink some hot tea because this is not good. Make sure you tap in with the Everydayer Club as well. Ad-free versions of this show. Plus, get involved with the bracket challenge as well. LockedOnSMU.supercast.com or the link in the show notes to learn more. All right, tomorrow we'll preview the first four game against Miami of Ohio. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you then.